From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, this is Hannah Mordo, and this is your News 8 Daily for Wednesday, May 21st. It's kind of a dreary start to your Wednesday. We're in the 50s, and we're not going to get much warmer than that. We're going to be mid-60s by the end of the day with some pretty gusty wind and a chance of showers. Burgersville firefighters say a child is hurt after an accidental grease fire on a stove at an apartment last night. The fire department posted pictures on social media. Crews say they were called to the building on Clary Crossing at around 8:15. A man and two kids were home at the time, and firefighters say they found the injured child in the front yard. The child was stable when they were taken to Riley. Crews also removed a dog and two cats from the fire, and 3 other families were forced to evacuate from the apartment. An Indianapolis man accused of killing his 5-year-old daughter faces his first court appearance today. Police arrested Zachary Arnold Monday for the death of Zara. It happened in a home on the east side of the city. Detectives say it started with a 911 call of a fall, but that the injuries told another story, and Arnold later admitted to hitting his daughter, holding her down, and strangling her. A teammate has found court records indicating Arnold was in a custody fight for the child and that her mother had called police earlier this month worried that Arnold had hurt her. A Central Indiana cold case dating back 3 decades may finally be solved. News 8's Danielle Zoopolis tells us about the break in the case and why prosecutors say there may be other suspects.
This is Thomas Anderson. He is accused of killing Tony Bledsoe after his own family members brought forward information that he was involved in the March 1992 murder. Hamilton County charging documents lay out a case where another man, Andy Emmert, was the person who pulled the trigger and stabbed Bledsoe. But he was not charged. Officials say there was only enough evidence to charge Anderson.
At this point in time, we only have enough to charge one person. Thomas Anderson. This remains an open investigation. We are still looking for potential other suspects.
In his statement to police, Anderson said he participated in the crime by hitting the victim with a bat and helped to dismember him. The document says this all stemmed from an ongoing confrontation about a stolen car stereo. Bledsoe wanted his car parts back since he was unaware he was given a stolen stereo in the trade. Anderson and Emmert killed Bledsoe after this. Documents say they put his head, hands, and feet in a bucket of concrete. They wrapped the rest of his body up, covered it in black paint to make it less identifiable, and dumped it in Putnam County, where it was found in April 1992. This case sat cold until 2018, when investigators started to piece together that the man who went missing in Hamilton County could be the same victim found up in Putnam.
It certainly makes things difficult. And that's why cold cases always present serious challenges. But that's something that we are dedicated to continue to search these cases out.
Investigators got a positive DNA match in 2019.
Once we had the John Doe where the remains for so many years, once we were able to connect the 2 cases, we were able to generate a DNA profile for the Bledsoe family and identify them that way.
Officials took the case before an investigative grand jury in 2024. That's where family members testified about Anderson's involvement. The family recently learned of the arrest after 32 long years waiting for answers.
Relieved to be taking a step forward towards justice and to know this has been an unanswered question.
Police ask for anyone with information to tie additional suspects to this crime to come forward. I'm Danielle Zoopolis for Wish TV and WishTV.com.
The Indiana Pacers tip off the Eastern Conference Finals tonight. Game 1 is in New York City. News 8's Colin Bailey tells us about the fun here in Indianapolis as the series starts on the road.
There will be plenty of fun for fans this evening, kicking off Game 1's viewing party at the Dugout in Fletcher Place. Game 2, there's also another viewing party, this time here at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. We checked Ticketmaster. Those tickets are all sold out. But speaking of the Eastern Conference Final, we have Kristen R joining us. Appreciate you being here. It's an exciting time. Back-to-back years Eastern Conference Finals. This year, though, against the Knicks, what can we expect from the Pacers tipping off this evening?
Well, I think, the experience they had last year playing at Madison Square Garden, winning a Game 7, getting to the Eastern Conference Finals a year ago, I think that really sets the table for this team. They know what to expect. They know what the Knicks will bring. They know what Madison Square Garden will be like tonight. Can't wait till we get home. Sunday, unbelievable day. The Indianapolis 500, a Pacers home playoff game. The Fever play the game the day before. I mean, this is a special time, but it all starts tonight. We've been waiting a week for this game. Game 1 tonight.
Talk about the fan side of things. You said you've ran into a lot of enthusiastic fans. How do you think this, basketball special, we all talk about it, but how do you think this elevates that to a whole different level here in the state of Indiana?
Yeah, I think it really does. I mean, you don't get to experience this all the time, right? The last time back-to-back Eastern Conference Finals, 2013-14 against LeBron and the Heat. So there's a lot of excitement right now. What Tyrese Halliburton has done, what this organization has done, they have rejuvenated the fan base in Indianapolis. And so it's exciting times and just anxious to see how it all plays out.
Well, thanks for joining us. That watch party again tonight at the Dugout, 621 Virginia Avenue in Fletcher Place. Tip-off 8 p.m. for Game 1 versus the Knicks. But for now here at Gamebridge Fieldhouse, I'm Colin Bailey for Wish TV and WishTV.com.
IMS says the grandstands and suites are officially sold out for the Indianapolis 500. It's the first sellout since the 100th running of the greatest spectacle in racing back in 2016. But you can still go. IMS says you can get general admission tickets to the infield on race day, and the official IMS ticket marketplace has tickets from fans looking to sell theirs. I checked this morning. There were still some at around 7:30 this morning. The lowest price I found was about $100 per ticket. Of course, Wish TV will have you covered for the race. We will be live inside and outside the track starting at 5 in the morning on race day. You can catch us on daybreak through noon on Sunday on Wish TV or stream our coverage on WishTV.com. This morning, students in Wayne Township are getting in the month of May fun. They're meeting some IndyCar drivers and showing off their own race cars. News 8's Hernan Gutierrez went to Westlake Elementary School, where this was part of a newer tradition.
Well, this is only the second year that Westlake Elementary is putting on the very aptly named Kindy 500, and it also happens to fall on Community Day this year for the Indianapolis 500. Here to tell us a little bit more about Community Day and what they're going to be doing here at Westlake, we have Kyle Larson, IndyCar driver. And Kyle, tell me a little bit about what you're looking forward to about getting out in the community.
I just really enjoy doing this. I got to do it last year as my first Indy 500, so I got to do it, and it's just fun, hanging out with kids and the drivers and myself. We had like a fun kind of like relay race competition with the kids. So I don't know if we're going to do something similar to that today, but I'm sure we'll do something fun, that's revolved around racing and get these kids excited about the sport, but also excited about the race.
And what's kind of your pitch to kids when you talk to them about motorsports? Like how do you kind of get them to get interested in the sport?
I don't know. I don't really think it's much of a pitch other than, just pitch to your parents to take you to the racetrack. I think once you get to go to the racetrack and you see everything that goes on with it, and this is for kids or adults, but especially kids, just getting to the track. Drivers, when we see kids walking around, we definitely take the time for them, so make them enjoy it even more. And I just enjoy seeing the youth at the track, especially here at Indy. There's so many kids there, so it's really cool.
All right, Kyle, thank you so much for your time this morning. We really appreciate it. There's going to be some other drivers here, too, along with Pato Award. Scott McLaughlin will be along here. They're all going to get to learn about the magic of the Indy 500. Reporting in Indianapolis, I'm Hernan Gutierrez for Wish TV and WishTV.com.
Happening today, the Zoopolis 500. It's the annual tortoise race at the Indianapolis Zoo. The event opens at 10:30, with the race starting at 11:30. Zoo says this year's version will have a snake pit, 500 festival princesses, and an appearance by past Indy 500 champ Alexander Rossi, and feast of fruit for the competitors. It's included in zoo admission. A slowdown is starting at one of America's busiest airports just as Memorial Day weekend travel takes off. Amy Kiley has the issues in Newark, New Jersey that are now popping up at airports across the country.
People would be surprised to learn that Newark's not alone.
The FAA is reducing the number of flights at Newark Liberty International Airport by about 25%. Its new order limits them to 28 arrivals and 28 departures per hour for now. Those numbers are set to rise to 34 when some daily runway construction ends. The changes come as many Americans are preparing for Memorial Day weekend and the unofficial start of summer. But holiday travel isn't the reason for the new limits. They follow weeks of flight delays and multiple air traffic control outages.
The system as a whole is extremely fragile. It's aged to the point now we're starting to see widespread failures.
Experts say aging equipment is part of the problem at Newark and other airports across the country.
Most Americans today walk around with more computing power in their pocket than air traffic controllers have at the ready.
Air traffic controllers say staffing shortages are another concern. One who's on trauma leave from Newark says his team was stretched thin during last month's outage.
Pushing people beyond their limits is not good business, period.
Such revelations might make some passengers nervous, but experts say they shouldn't be.
If you break it down, flying versus taking a train, taking a boat, driving your car down the street, statistically, it's the safest mode of transportation.
I'm Amy Conley for Wish TV and WishTV.com.
TSA officers in Indianapolis say they found 4 loaded guns in 5 days at the airport security checkpoints. The agency says that makes a total of 18 firearms found at the airport this year. They gave us a picture of one of the guns. Police confiscated the weapons between Thursday last week and Monday this week. Now TSA is addressing the issue, saying that recent incidents are troubling. As we look ahead to our summer travel season, we strongly encourage passengers to pack smart and start with an empty bag. President Trump is giving details in the concept of his so-called Golden Dome missile defensive system that would put U.S. weapons in space for the first time. Trump has asked Congress to approve the program that Congressional Budget Office says would cost as much as $500 billion over the next 20 years. Trump wants $25 billion for just the down payment. Indiana Senator Jim Banks was at yesterday's announcement in the Oval Office and says if it's approved, many of the components would be made in our state.
But the Golden Dome is going to be an even bigger legacy for our country. And Indiana is going to help you make it. Right. The space satellites that are made at Fort Wayne, Indiana by L3 Harris, all the work done at Crane Navy Base in southern Indiana is going to be a big part of it, and Hoosiers are very proud of that.
Trump has asked for initial funding for the proposal in his tax break bill that's now before the House. Now, Trump is scrambling to keep congressional Republicans unified on that tax cut bill. He spoke with representatives for more than an hour on Tuesday, trying to convince them all to vote for the multi-trillion-dollar package. He also warned them not to cut Medicaid, even though cuts to the health care program are part of the plan to pay for the proposed tax cuts. House Republicans can only afford to lose 3 votes from their slim majority and still pass the bill. Some conservative lawmakers say they are concerned about projections that it would explode the federal deficit. Trump administration says it will limit approval for seasonal COVID shots to seniors and other high-risk patients. It's raising questions about whether people who want a COVID vaccine this fall will be able to get one. The FDA released new standards for COVID shots yesterday. The new framework urges vaccine makers to conduct lengthy studies before the shots can be approved for younger, healthier people. It's a stark change from the previous federal policy that recommended an annual COVID shot for all Americans who are 6 months and older. CDC says more than 47,000 Americans died from COVID-related causes last year. Now let's go to Jane King with your business headlines. She starts with a story on Amazon returns and how there are refunds in some cases for very old purchases.
So Amazon distributing these years-old refunds and apologies after an internal review revealed unresolved reimbursement issues. This is all according to Bloomberg. Now, while the scope and the cost remain a mystery, customers are reporting that these refunds are showing up in their account for returns that date all the way back to 2018. And the chief financial officer at Amazon did confirm that Amazon took a financial hit of more than $1 billion in the first quarter tied to historical customer returns. Now, the disclosure coincides with an ongoing lawsuit against Amazon concerning refunds for merchandise dropped off at its kiosks. Well, Airbnb is cracking down on summer parties. It will be implementing its proprietary anti-party technology for listings across the U.S. this week. So that's when it will start. Now, these defenses block certain bookings made over Memorial Day and the 4th of July. And anyone blocked from booking an entire home will have the ability to book alternative accommodations on Airbnb. Southwest Airlines making a policy change. So effective May 28th, Southwest will restrict the use of portable phone chargers on concerns over the growing number of fires caused by lithium-ion batteries. Now, flyers can still bring them on board, but passengers will be required to keep the chargers visible and out in the open when being used. And Eli Lilly considering a $6 billion plant in Houston. The Houston Chronicle says a 236-acre site is being considered, according to the Texas Comptroller documents. The drug company, of course, behind Mounjaro and Zepbound, is actively evaluating other manufacturing site locations that looks to double its factory presence in the U.S. And stocks snapped the recent winning streak. All three major averages still above where they were on April 2nd, which is when President Trump unveiled the tariff policy. This morning, though, Dow's pointing down almost 400 points. Interest rates overnight started ticking higher a little bit, so that's sending stocks down. Live from the New York Stock Exchange, I'm Jane King. Back to you.
This has been your News 8 Daily. From Wish TV, I'm Hannah Mordeau. Watch us on Wish TV and WishTV.com.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at WishTV.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening. And be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.